Welcome to the Agent Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Stevens, a local business owner and team leader here in Northern Nevada. And this podcast is all about how you achieve more in life and how you do well in real estate by listening to people who have done it before us. I'm here today with Feather Dugan, and she is a team lead on my team and has been killing it in the real estate game for the last 2 years. So we're going to kind of dig in and get to know her a little better. And hopefully for the new agents out there, you guys find some value in what she's done to make herself successful. So Feather, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Lee. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So today, I guess where we're going to start is, why in the heck did you decide to get into real estate? What was your thought process there?
I've always loved real estate. I think I'm just like everyone else out there who plays on Zillow all the time. But my husband and I have purchased and sold several homes together. And in 2004, we had the ability to sell a home and buy two. So buy our current residence and then kind of get into the rental market.
Cool.
And invest and try and dabble in that a little bit. And so we had that for 11 years.
Okay.
And it was an adventure, to say the least, because as everybody knows, after 2004 and 2007, 2008, the bottom fell out of the market. So it was a very scary time for our family, having two houses, two mortgages, and dealing with a rental. So I sold that in 2019, and I think at that point I was questioning why I wasn't in real estate and wanted to take that next step and started really looking into it. And I am, a professional. I had a great job and I was on salary.
Making a good salary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I won't reveal the number, but it was enough to where you can't just I'm just going to quit. And,
no.
Yeah. So before we move on to that, I'm going to touch on that. Tell me kind of some of the conversations you and your husband, Scott, had during that time as far as wanting to sell. Did we make a mistake? Because I feel like some of our clients could possibly be feeling that same thing right now.
I 100% agree. I actually use this story and have told many of my clients who are afraid that the bottom's going to fall out of the market. And real estate is a long game. It is not a short game. And the conversation when we first purchased the property was this was going to be a long-term investment for our family. And my husband, after a certain experience that we had, he wanted to sell it right away, like within the first year of owning it.
Okay.
And at that time, it was valued about $300,000.
What year was this?
2004, 2005.
Okay, gotcha.
And I steadfast said, no, we can't do that. We have to, it's a long-term investment. We should hold it and see what happens. And sure enough, 3 or 4 years later, my house went from a $300,000 house to a $97,000 value on this rental property. However, we had great tenants, luckily for us, and we held it. I had people in my circle that told me, short sell it, get rid of it, don't hang on to it. What are you thinking? And I'm like, we're in it for the long haul. And that's kind of the value came back up. The value came back up to that $300,000 mark, and we've made money. We actually supplemented our income for a really long time with that property because we had tenants paying $1,450 and our mortgage was under $1,000. So, it cash flowed.
That's awesome. And I think that is where your real estate career started, was right there at following your own advice, which was good. And some of that carries through to your real estate career and all the good advice that you give to your clients.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't painful. There were times where, having a rental, you have to make fixes, people damage stuff. And that's something I also tell my clients, that rentals do not take care of themselves. You will be, either you're going to have a property manager do it or you're going to do it yourself, which my husband and I did.
Yeah.
But it was a great investment. So that's...
Well, good story. So, okay, now take us, we're at 2019 now, and you just sold that property. you signed up for the course. How was that whole like learning process? Where'd you go to class? And what were some of the thoughts going through your mind for the new agents out there, or for the people thinking about getting into real estate? What were you thinking?
I just wanted to tackle it.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who can, I wanted an in-person class, and I wanted an instructor to be able to go to if I had questions. I wanted real life scenarios. I didn't just want, a computer in front of me the whole time. I was in a software sales position, so I was in front of computers all day long. I wanted to do something different. So I did the Northern Nevada Real Estate School here. Michelle Roper was the instructor. She's great.
Awesome.
I highly recommend her. Her mother's amazing. That whole family, they're great people. And I did the night classes, and I ended up doing the online course that she offered at the time, which enabled me. I traveled a lot for work at that time, out of state, across,
Okay.
Canada, East Coast. So I needed to be able to still travel for my job while I was taking the night courses. And her flexibility on that online course allowed me to actually missed the sign up by 2 weeks. So I was behind in the class too. So kind of had to do some scrambling, makeup work and makeup tests and jump in. But I'm so glad I did. She was a great instructor.
Nice. So
Met some great real estate professionals who actually are in our office that I really enjoy still working with.
let's do a shout out. Who are they?
Yeah. Johanna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Johanna. Okay.
Yeah.
She would be someone cool to have on this.
You should totally have her on the show.
So now you have your license. What's next? And this is actually, I get a lot of questions about this. I think people think that I work directly for Realty One because I'm such a fan. But how did you pick the brokerage? Did you interview others?
I did.
Okay.
What's great about Michelle is that she actually brings in a dozen brokers.
Oh, wow.
To
I didn't know
pitch. Yeah. They all come in and they pitch their brokerage. You get to ask all the questions, and she kind of guides you, like, know if there's an exit fee or, some kind of buy-in to that brokerage.
Sure.
Obviously, what I don't think people understand is that we're our own independent business owners,
They do
and
that,
that
yeah.
brokerage is just holding our license for us. And I also had a great opportunity that my younger sister, Kendra Barraza, started.
What's up, Kendra?
Started before I did, actually. She got her license about a year before me and started with another brokerage, which I won't mention,
Sure.
and ended up at Realty One Group. And she just really loved it, and I was able to kind of learn from her mistake, if you will, of testing out that other brokerage, thinking that she'd done all the homework. And then after her first couple transactions, she just really wasn't happy with them. So
Okay.
I went to the grand opening at Realty One Group, actually. I'm sure I met you there.
Yeah, I was there.
And Ryan and Heather. And
Yeah.
I love the vibe and the feel. I love the, silly things. Like, I love the location. I'm in South Reno, and
Yeah.
that's great for me. So it just felt like a good fit.
Okay. All right. So now you're here. You go through Rev Up, or you sign up, which is the class that new agents go through. Kind of bring us up to how you decided to join a team versus go solo.
Okay. So for me, it was kind of a unique situation in anyone who got their license in this first quarter of 2020
Yeah.
because it was COVID. So luckily, I had passed my state and national exams the day before the proctor shut down.
Wow.
And
That's lucky.
my paperwork was sent into the division, and by the time I got it in April, we were all at home, unless, you were working, but I was at home.
There was 2 weeks where I was at home, where I was like Zooming clients and stuff. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took one of your classes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Facebook ads, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was
Wow.
kind of my first introduction to some of the people that were in the brokerage, right? It was the first time I got to see anyone's faces because no one was going into the brokerage. And it really set a tone for me because, you're out there helping and giving and just just saying, hey, this is what I do. This is how I do it. I'm giving you all this information to go run out and make your business just as successful as mine as a competitive agent.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And so when I finally got into the brokerage and through, getting through Rev Up and whatnot and meeting you in person, I raised my hand, jumped up and down.
Yeah.
Take me on as a team. I want to be on your team. That was something for me. It was really, I'm that way, I think, in my life. Like, I want to help and I want to give, I want to have the answers, but I'm not going to give advice I don't have the answers to.
Sure.
But that was something that was really influential on me. And
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You know what? It's honestly, I mean, everything's been such a blur. So you've been on the team for 2+ years now. I actually thought you were on the team at the grand opening. Like, that's how clouded my mind is because it's been so busy. But yeah, I remember that class, and I remember we used to just call each other, not you and I, but other agents at the brokerage, and everyone was kind of depressed, everyone was a little scared. And that whole time I had figured out how to really, really get good at Facebook ads, and so I just decided to throw it out there to kind of give everyone a shot in the arm and hopefully just change that mindset. I don't like it. It brings me down too, so I just thought I'd push back on it, and I'm glad that caught your attention.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your volume so people know, that what you're saying is credible. We could just do GCI, and for those of you who don't know, GCI is our top line revenue before expenses. Your first 12 months in real estate, how much did you do?
I think I was right around.
I did $100K my first year in real estate, which was my goal. And the other thing that's cool is that you were on my team and you made that. So
Yes.
that's actually her cut of that. That's not like the total.
Mm-hmm.
So she was busy, guys. She was very, very busy.
I closed 30 deals.
Yeah, 30 deals in year one.
My first full year.
So, okay, we were on the team. It was pretty quiet. It was a team of 4 at the time. And your first few months, what was going through your head?
It was rough. I won't lie. I mean, when I first started, I committed to the team half-time. I still needed to
right.
work part-time at my current job and kind of wing them off of me being employed there, letting them replace me or figure out what was going to happen next. And it was rough. I mean, cold calling was part of my job,
Yes.
and taking Zillow calls and meeting strangers, and it's kind of this job can be so glorified sometimes, like we're rock stars or like
I know. Zipping around in our nice car.
Yeah. No, so no, I was taking my Subaru Outback everywhere and, meeting clients and showing them, but really grinding and really doing the hard work of making those calls and calling people back and getting used to my systems that we have in place. And it was hard.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, everyone hears Zillow Leads and thinks that we have it easy. We were a new team, and I was not making tons of. Actually, I was putting my own money into it. Me and my old business partner putting our own money into it, buying leads, and the leads weren't in the best zip codes. So I won't even name the zip codes, okay? But she was fearful. Nothing ever happened, but and she was showing condos in all parts of town, and there was this house that was I remember softwood. That still comes to mind, and that was just burning my cash, because every time you call Zillow, it costs the team leader or somebody money. And so people would call on this house that was on the market for 2 years. So and I want to give you some cool feedback. You really dove in. You really dove in. I mean, most people, they get into real estate, they talk to me and they're like, I'm here for freedom. I'm here for all this free time. And when you join a team, there's usually some sort of structure because there's a big investment going out, and you did it. You did at the time, it was some sort of activity tracker that was full every week that we did it, turned in. You were excellent at that. You did open houses every weekend, I believe, while you were working too.
Open houses were a huge part of my business.
Yeah. So, and that was, and I still tell everyone that you're the queen of open houses. I taught you this is what you say this is, but you've taken it and you've made it your own thing. You've gotten many sales, many high-end clients, many multiple deal clients where they come in, they buy and they sell. So just really cool. And I also remember you wondering when you would start making money after
The first 6 months were rough. Yeah. A lot of land deals, a lot of...
you were the new
I did
construction
close the
specialist?
first double wide on the team, I think.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and I was like, you were doing a bunch of new construction deals, which did pay off.
Eventually.
Yes, but it was many. It was like when you do a new construction deal, it's about 8 to 12 months before you get a check. So it was like, ugh. When did it all change? When did you finally know that you were going to be successful in real estate?
I think, I know you have an answer in your mind that you think I should say, but
No,
I really, I don't know. I guess there's a couple of different points, but I think what really sticks in my mind is two things. One, a friend of my husband's chose to use me to sell his house, and I did an open house, and at that point got another client. He wanted me to sell his house, and he wanted to buy another one. And during those 3 transactions, when they were all closed, it was just one of those feelings of, I've got this. It was my first listing.
Yeah.
It was my first conversion of a real good client at an open house, and their trust in me, and just that feeling of, I don't know, of accomplishment, true, getting them to where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
My friend, and then this complete stranger who that very same day I met him, he's like, you got to come to my house.
Yeah.
He had a pregnant wife. They're like, should we do this now?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your goals? Why would you want to do this now? And kind of deep diving on that and finding their why and pursuing that and helping them accomplish that in a very hard market was a challenge, and we did it.
Yes. So I remember that exactly. I'm not going to say the number, but it was on Parma.
Yeah.
And how much did you sell it over asking?
Well, our first original went into contract and then fell out because it was a contingent. So that was $119,000 over asking, the
Yes.
original one. And then it went to our backup. So we had, I want to say we had 13 offers on that property, and the backup ended up being the one, and it was $71,000 over asking.
Not bad for your first listing,
Yeah.
Heather. I track, and this is normal for team leaders, I track all of her professional stats. I think, and this might even be a low number, I think there might have been 5 transactions that spawned off that. It is, because we just looked at the numbers a few days ago. So 5 deals off that.
Well, I sold my friend's house on Parma.
Okay.
And then both his mother and his wife's mother wanted to sell and move out of Reno.
Right.
And so, then I sold those 2 houses, and then I was able to actually have the buyer for one of their properties.
And you got, if I remember right, you did pick up a buyer-seller from one of those open houses.
Yes, the buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might have even done another one, the street that starts with a T. That was a difficult one, but you sold that one too.
Yes. He
was from an open house, I think, in that cluster.
from Parma.
Okay.
And it was actually a mailer.
Okay. Well, so now you're successful. You've got this, but successful is like 100K. What brought you to 200? How did you and like what's that like? What enabled you to do that? I know your family. You've got an awesome family, but I know that they were involved and supported you.
100%. You have to have support. You know, I did wait to get into this. I think the timing of everything was just perfect. In 2019, when I made that decision, early 2020, to take the course, my kids drove themselves. My husband was working a swing shift, and I was able to just I worked a lot.
Hell yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing glorified about that first full year. I mean, I was really, really working. I was working a lot.
Well,
I don't know if that's the answer.
No, there's no wrong answers. I mean, you were on the team when I worked 5 months straight. Mm-hmm. You worked, we don't count our hours, guys. There's no counting that because you're so passionate about it. It is tiring, but it's also extremely rewarding when you're helping people move different phases in your life. And it's extremely rewarding for me as a team leader to help other people really achieve that dream of succeeding in real estate.
Right.
And it's been cool to watch. So now I'm going to try and pull some stuff out of you. We still don't know the answer. How do agents make 200K? What's the difference between 40K? Because here's the thing. I know I actually coach many agents, even some agents that are not on our team, and they put in the same amount of hours as someone like you who makes 200. So what's the deal? What's the secret that you have? Is it? I mean, I will start spouting things off.
I think if I really have to think about that
Yeah.
and drill down, I'm very confident and comfortable when I meet my clients.
Okay.
I enjoy what I do. I have a passion for it. I want to help them achieve their goal. That's my end game. And it's rewarding to me when we are successful at what they want to be successful at. What did they want? What's going to get them what their dream is in home ownership.
Okay. So focusing on what they want. I agree. I think you definitely put what you're like when you're in that transaction. I hate calling it a transaction because really what we do is we're in all these different relationships. Mm-hmm. When you meet that and you strengthen that relationship, you're spearheading what they want. Do you ask for business during the transaction? Do they just give you business at the end?
I don't ask for business during the transaction. I have after the close. So I've done, a housewarming party for one of my clients, sponsored it, helped, like I get the food, I throw the whole party, I clean up afterwards. And at that point, I'm doing a drawing. I want to meet their family, a couple $50 gift cards.
Okay, cool.
But more it's engaging and it's having that conversation and, just growing my sphere and, in these transactions, these people become your friends.
Totally.
You're meeting their mom and dad. They're having life experiences with one of my friends now that are my clients, had a baby during the transaction, grew their family, and that's why they were moving to a bigger house. And one of them got engaged, and I'm a part of that moment in their life.
It's awesome. It is awesome. And what's even more awesome is you're like getting to this point now where that's going to expand and that's going to continue to grow your career. Yeah. And I'm excited to see it. So let's kind of wrap this up. If you were a new agent, let's imagine I'm a new agent coming to you, Feather, and I want leads, like give me leads. 3 things to really not only get the mindset right, but get that business right, as far as making it. Give me three things.
That they have to do.
Just three nuggets, three things that can really set them off. Three things you wish you would have known that would have helped you,
I think that there's a huge negative connotation or thought process behind being on a team. I think that some people out there just have this like, oh no, this is my business. I'm going to run it the way I want to. And I would tell people not to be afraid of being on a team, number one. And, when I went into this career, I have 5 or 6 friends and family members that are real estate agents. Yeah. I'm not going to do this on my own. And I wanted help. I wanted help from an expert. I wanted to know, I wanted someone to have my back. We're writing contracts. We're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
And your broker's there, yes, and you can use them and abuse them if they answer their phone, which ours does.
Yes,
but
it does.
I really appreciated having my team leads, my team, behind me. And I would give that one nugget of, really, that's a really strong piece of advice, I feel like, for people that are just starting in this, because, our necks are on the line.
Absolutely. Big time.
And so that's a big one. I think being passionate about the people is I think it's important, and I think I am.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that you need to be that. And I think that you can't come into this thinking it's a part-time job. You can't come into this thinking that, it's a glorified, I don't know, $1 million listing or whatever those shows are that, it's not that. It's different.
It is different. It's more in the dirt, but with people that you choose to be in a relationship with, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Last thing, I know that you take leads, and some people take leads, some people don't take leads. And you're good at it. I want everyone to know you're very, very good at it. What's your thought on that real quick?
I wouldn't, I'm not going to, right now, in this very weird time that we're in, I'm not going to back away from taking leads, not when it's right there for me. I have converted and tried to change my business this year. I'm doing, I think 19 closed transactions, and I think I'm at like a 50-50 with repeat customers.
Yes.
Referral work, and then my leads. So I'm trying to keep that as my business, where I'm really wanting to push my repeat customers and referral work. But I think leads are, sometimes it needs to be a part of your business, especially when you start out. I really think that it's important.
Yeah, it was a part of mine. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I really appreciate it, and I hope that if you're a new agent thinking about joining the business, you find value in this. And how would they follow you on social media if they wanted to? What's the...
Feather24 is my Instagram.
Okay, so hit Feather up with any questions. She'd love to talk to you, and I will see you in the next episode.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.